Hi! What class is this? Where are we? Doctrinal Studies of the Book of Acts, Lecture 5, Part B, Acts 7. It's mostly just reading the text because it's recounting what happened, of course, mostly to the Jews, and I don't have a lot of doctrinal points. So here we go. I'll read 2, someone read 1. I'm going to hog it. I'll do 2, you do 1. Then said the high priest, "Are these things so?" And he said, "Men, brethren, and fathers, hearken. The God of glory appeared unto our father Abraham when he was in Mesopotamia, before he dwelt in Charan.
And said unto him, Get thee out of thy country and from thy kindred, and come into the land which I shall show thee.
Then came he out of the land of the Chaldeans, and dwelt in Charan, or Charan. And from thence, when his father was dead, he removed him into this land, wherein he now dwell. And he gave him none inheritance in it, no, not so much as to set his foot on. Yet he promised that he would give it to him for a possession, and to his seed after him, when as yet he had no child." Who are we talking about here?
Moses. Abraham.
Abraham, right. 6?
And God spake on this wise, that his seed should sojourn in a strange land, and that they should bring them into bondage, and entreat them evil 400 years.
"And the nation to whom they shall be in bondage will I judge," said God. "And after that shall they come forth, and serve me in this place." And he gave him the covenant of circumcision. And so Abraham begat Isaac, and circumcised him the 8th day. And Isaac begat Jacob, and Jacob begat the 12 patriarchs.
And the patriarchs, moved with envy, sold Joseph into Egypt, but God was with him,
And delivered him out of all his afflictions, and gave him favor and wisdom in the sight of Pharaoh king of Egypt. And he made him governor over Egypt and all his house. So, what's Stephen doing here? He's recounting significant events that happened to the children of Israel. What's his purpose, though? Just nice storytelling time while these guys want to kill him? Well, not yet, they don't.
to get to Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he's going to bring it about to Jesus Christ. Now, he's dealing with Jews. If you're dealing with a Gentile, average American person, you can talk about this, but it's not. It's not their story.
Right.
You're talking about African American heritage, or Caucasoid heritage, or French history, and you're a French-speaking person. That might be of interest and really affect you. But to talk about Jewish history to the average American, so I'm not saying this is a good model to follow for us. But the principle is to kind of set the stage, gain their interest, get them on board with you. I wrote the Doctrine of Preaching here. This is Stephen. Deacons can preach.
Amen.
As did Stephen here. He was going over Old Testament history in order to bring these Jews to see that Jesus is the Messiah. When preaching on the New Testament, it may be very wise to set the foundation of it from the Old Testament. Well, especially if you're dealing with Jews. Let's go on. "Now there came a dearth over all the land of Egypt and Canaan, and great affliction, and our fathers found no sustenance. But when Jacob heard that there was corn in Egypt, he sent out our fathers first.
And at the second time Joseph was made known to his brethren, and Joseph's kindred was made known unto Pharaoh.
Then sent Joseph, and called his father Jacob to him, and all his kindred, 75 souls. So Jacob went down into Egypt, and died, he and our fathers.
And were carried over into Shechem, and laid in the sepulchre that Abraham had bought for a sum of money of the sons of Emor, the father of Shechem.
But when the time of the promise drew nigh, which God had sworn to Abraham, the people grew and multiplied in Egypt, till another king arose, which knew not Joseph.
The same dealt subtly with our kindred, and evil entreated our fathers, so that they cast out their young children, to the end that they might not live.
In which time Moses was born, and was exceeding fair, and nourished up in his father's house 3 months. And when he was cast out, Pharaoh's daughter took him up, and nourished him for her own son.
And Moses was learned in all the wisdom of the Egyptians, and was mighty in words and in deeds.
And when he was full 40 years old, it came into his heart to visit his brethren, the children of Israel.
And seeing one of them suffer wrong, he defended him, and avenged him that was oppressed, and smote the Egyptian.
For he supposed his brethren would have understood how that God by his hand would deliver them, but they understood not. And the next day he showed himself unto them as they strove, and would have set them at one again, saying, Sirs, ye are brethren, why do ye wrong one to another?
But he that did his neighbor wrong thrust him away, saying, Who made thee a ruler and a judge over us?
Wilt thou kill me as thou didst the Egyptian yesterday? Then fled Moses at this saying, and was a stranger in the land of Midian, where he begat 2 sons. Now we've got the rest of 7, and I could have included it, but it's just the way I cut it. But we're going to come to where, what? He talks to them about Jesus Christ whom they killed and murdered, and then they came on them gnashing with their teeth and stoned Stephen. We'll get to that next week. All right, take a break.